Right? Before we go to exponential as well as logarithmic equation, it's always important to recap all the various laws of indices. Why don't you pause the video and fill in the blank before you do a check with mine? Okay, once you're done, please do a quick check to see whether you obtain the same answer in terms of summarizing all the various laws of indices. So with this, I'm going to move on to the next part. All right, is to solve the following exponential equation. Okay, I'm going to kick off with part A. So what we see in part A, it seems like they all have different bases. Not to fear. What is common is I can see the power x. All right, since I can see power x and they are not of the same base, what I can think of will be this particular law where they have the same power. All right, now refer back to the question again. All right, I'm going to rewrite my expression on the left hand side. So this can be seen as 5 squared to the power of x multiplied by 3 to the power of x, which will still give us 1 over 75. Since they all have the same common power, and we know that 5 squared times 3 will give us 75. Well, 1 is a fraction, 1 is not. So, applying the other law. What's the other law that we can take note of? Alright, the reciprocal law, which is this particular law. Alright, I do not want it as a fraction. So, since 1 over 75, 75 is to the power of 1. This can be written as 75 to the power of negative 1. Since the base are the same, I'll just compare the power or the index. Our x will be equal to negative 1 in this case. Next, I'm going to move on to part B. Alright, part B is not as simple. Obviously, I cannot change everything to the same base as of now. But if you notice something, alright, it's pretty obvious that 9 and 3 both can be written as base 3. That's what I'm going to do first. So I have written as base 3. Alright, the expression on the left hand side, I can make use of the power law of indices. Alright, the power law of indices. So in this case, I'm still not done. Why? There's no way I can do anything, but I know that whenever I'm stuck, I have to make use of substitution method. But in order for me to make use of substitution method, as I've said previously, alright, I would like to change everything in terms of the smaller term. Alright, it seems that the smaller term is 3 to the power of y. I need to make sure my left hand side can be rewritten as 3 to the power of y as well. Okay, remember, the idea is to make sure I change it to 3 to the power of y. Alright, you can clearly see how I make use of the various laws of indices to actually change it to 3 to the power of y, because this is the scenario that when you are stuck, you change it to the one that is easiest for you to be common, and after that, you will have to make use of substitution method. In this case, I let a be equal to 3 to the power of y. Then I'll solve the quadratic equation in terms of a. Making use of zero product rule, I will be able to do my solving. Please remember, you are not solving for just A. A is what we have substituted. Your job is to find Y. So please replace. And solve the necessary values of Y. On the left hand side, this is NA, because 3 to the power of something can never be a negative value. And on the right hand side, I can rewrite as my 1 over 9 to be 3 to the power of negative 2. So in this case, my y will be equal to negative 2. Alright, this is how we actually apply all the various laws of indices for us to do our solving.